Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Happy December 2nd. Let me go ahead and drop that sound. Hey, man, we in December. And man, fall is upon us. Holiday season is upon us. Hopefully, you had a wonderful Thanksgiving break. I know I did. Just hanging out with family, food and fun and fellowship and all that kind of good stuff. And also some football. So we have Coach Smith. He's hanging out with us. And so we're going to talk about everything Pali football tonight. So just hang around, stay tuned. I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of hyped because I got some extra stuff kind of working and cooking tonight. So we'll talk about it after the break. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to another episode of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win!
Oh, yeah!
Stop playing with a P! 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 Stop playing with a P!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice route, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pay.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Football, baby, indeed. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to, I think it's week 14. I put in the description, week 14. So welcome to week 14, the This Week in Pali Football. So check it out. Man, we had a wonderful week last week. Unfortunately, it didn't go as we wanted it to go. And so we have Coach Smith on the other side. But just a few quick announcements before we hop into the full episode. So coming up for the Pali football family, the players and their families, just remember this coming Sunday at 12 o'clock, we're having our football banquet at Pali. I keep forgetting the name of the hall. I think it's Gilbert Hall. Just come on out. You're gonna see all the Letterman jackets. You're gonna smell the food. We just want you to come on out. Just know it's at 12 o'clock, and that there is an RSVP that was sent out to everyone. If you're a Pali parent, you should have received the link. So go ahead. I believe Wednesday is the last day, and we'll confirm with Coach Smith in a couple of minutes. But yeah, you don't want to miss out. This is probably one of the best times when the whole Pali community, JV, varsity, parents, supporters, the QB club will all come together and just kind of hang out, have some fun, and reminisce about about the wonderful football season that we had this past year. So make sure you RSVP if you're a parent, and there should be some information via email sent out to everyone. So just make sure you do that, and we really want to have some fun and just kind of reminisce upon the wonderful season that the boys had and the coaches had this coming year or this past year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Coach Smith. There he is. What's going on, Coach? How you feeling?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. First of all, congratulations on finishing the season. I know it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, but man, second year, getting to the championship. Last year didn't go so well. We were bounced out in the first year against Gardena in the first round. But this year you made it all the way to the chip, man. Just kind of talk about, before we talk about the game against King Drew, just kind of reflect on, what this season kind of meant to you or what it means to you. And, how far we've come from getting bounced out in the first round last year to making it all the way to the championship game this year.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a really long season, to be honest. I mean, it's weird. It went by fast, but it also felt long at the same time because we started in February with Saturday night practices, and then we took a couple weeks off, and then we went to May spring practice, and then took 2 weeks off, and then went into summer, and then we've been going since the last week of June till a couple of days ago. So it's been a long season, but the kids really worked hard this off season. I felt good about going to this season with a lot of guys coming back. We got a lot of JV players who contributed this year. So, I mean, it was ups and downs, obviously. We started off well. hit a snag in a row a couple weeks later, and then I feel like the middle of the season was like a Wednesday for us. You get through Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes. You just like I can't wait to the weekend. That's how I felt around Harvard Westlake right before league and that bye week, and then with league, it was like another season. So I take my hats off to the kids who stuck in there, and I put them through a lot of stuff. Told them it wasn't going to be easy. They stuck with it. They wanted to play in this championship game, and they worked hard for it. So, my hat goes off to those kids.
Yeah, I was just I was just pulling up the season since you were kind of talking about how it flowed. Let me just pull up the whole season and just kind of we can kind of talk and look at our way through the whole season that we kind of experienced this year. So here we are. We started out with Dimely. Just a wonderful 3-win streak against that wing T kind of situation. Which is something unprecedented, I think, in Pali football, facing 3 consecutive teams to open the season, playing that wing T, man. So just, and then you talked about Brentwood and just that second overtime or 2 overtime loss. How they say, we missed it by that much.
Right.
And then, Harvard Westlake, we kind of caught our speed again, 3-game win streak. Then a loss against our rivals, Venice, and then the final 4 games or final 3 games in the or final 2 games in our league against the wins against University and Hamilton, and then on to we did extremely well. No one can say that we don't know how to score because we can score. Our offense is definitely potent, and they kind of stepped up. Those 3 games playing Southeast, who I never heard of, North Hollywood, and then Eagle Rock. I'm glad we kind of got that win. So there was no question about our offense. And then, of course, we ran into some trouble this past Saturday against King Drew, 56-35. So let's just go ahead and park there. I mean, he had a wonderful season. Let's go ahead and park there and just kind of talk about your thoughts prior to the championship game and, how the week went in terms of preparation, where the boys focused. I know I was talking to the O-line coach, and he's like, it was kind of rough. So just from your vantage point, what did you see in the boys as they prepared for King Drew last week?
My day Tuesday was a little slow. I kind of felt like there was no school. I was told the coaches as I wish there was school this week because, they're home all day and then they have to get out of bed or whatever they're doing, bus to school, drive to school, whatever. Once school's in, they're already here. They're at school, they're already awake, and then they're ready to go. So I feel like Monday and Tuesday was kind of a slow. And Wednesday they finally picked it up, and I thought we had a really good practice Wednesday. And then, of course, it was Thanksgiving, so we got to take a day off. But Friday, they had a lot of energy. I feel like practice on Friday, which is normally a pregame, which is kind of a light practice, felt like more of a Monday or Tuesday practice. The kids were, they were flying around. They were, energized. So I felt good about that. But I always tell them we can't start the week off slow and expect to pick it up at the end of the week. And it's kind of like that on Saturday. We kind of started off the first quarter pretty slow and part of the second quarter slow, and that's kind of how it was a reflection of our week of practice. So in the second half we turned it around, which was the same as the end of the week. So I always tell them we got to practice like we're going to play. Practice is a reflection of the game, or vice versa, and we have to stay consistent with that. And it kind of showed on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Talking to Sir, he was just like, man, this week was kind of, it was a little rough because he kind of felt that the boys weren't really into it. And to your point, school wasn't in. They had to come in from wherever they live. Whether it's out there in L.A. or from the Palisades, and places in between. So, they're already on campus. They can just hustle down from, their classes, start practice and get everything done. So he did say it was a little struggle the first couple of days. So just kind of to your point, he kind of felt the same way. Things were much easier if, kind of school was in session. Things were, boys would have their usual flow during the daytime. So, it is what it is in terms of, practice, and, it's all a part of that mindset as well. And so, we get to the game. And I know you guys were, kind of excited, kind of jumping around. I saw some of the boys pregame, just kind of, not too relaxed, but just kind of focused. I was looking at their eyes, and they were kind of locked in. They were ready. Pregame warming up. They're going through, and it seemed like they were ready, but. And even for me, parents were asking, well, what do you think, Mr. Ragnar? I'm like, well, on paper, it's going to be a good game, right? Everything that we talked about, their top runner at the time, I didn't know his name. I know his name now.
Everybody does now.
Everybody knows Jameer Torres. I was like, oh, this dude, he's just averaging 88 yards a game. Oh, we on paper, we should be okay. We're going to match up well. Boy, was I wrong? Because, and looking at, looking at some of the stats, let's go ahead and I'm going to put the stats up in a second. Looking at some of the stats, just from the first half, there was a big difference between the first and second half. And so, here, let me see, and I can say the game was a cleanly called game. There were some questionable calls, but, we had only 5 penalties, which is good. They had 14. So, we can't really say we lost the game on penalties. They kind of acted like we did. They had 128 yards in penalties. We had 5. But, first downs, according to Max Preps, 25-25. Total plays, 79 for us, 55 for them. And in time of possession, they ran a real relaxed offense. They were in no hurry whatsoever. And, so they spent 27 minutes, 19 minutes for us. And so let me go ahead. I'm thinking that I'm showing the stats, but you can't see them. So now you should be able to see them, Coach. So here, our guy, Jack Thomas, Mr. Consistency, I believe, it took him some time to kind of, he took what the defense gave him, and I know we kind of talked about that before. So let's just kind of focus in on the first half. And what did you see? Well, we all know what the problem was. Jameer Torres.
Right.
Talk about his ability to get loose against our defense.
I mean, we talked about it all week that they had one guy and he was number one, and we got to stop him. We all week long we were pointing out one's in the slot, one's in the backfield, one's over there. So we got to find him, and he did a really good job. Taking the ball outside, planting his foot in the ground, and getting up the field. So I mean, my hats off to him. He's faster than he looked on film. He looked fast on film, but he looked faster in person. Just a great athlete, obviously, and. The best thing they did was, as a team, they said, we're going to ride this kid's back, and everybody was okay with it. Everybody knew in the stadium who was getting the ball. The kids blocked for him. They gave him the ball. It didn't seem like anybody was upset that they weren't getting the ball. They all rode his back, and, my hats off to, good game planning on the coach's behalf and unselfishness of their kids, and just the ability of number one or Torres to make things happen.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the Granada Hills game when we played our last championship game. Now, again, you guys had access to the film, so I didn't. I'm just thinking, going off based on what I see in Max Prep. I think I told somebody, I was like, I'm a little bit more I was afraid more of the North Hollywood game, because that guy. I forgot his name, but he was averaging, 180 yards per game. And so for me, it's like, oh, okay, we could Hollywood, where this guy's averaging, over 150 yards per game, closer to 180. It's going to be a close game, right?
Right.
But yeah, we all knew we all knew who was getting the ball. I think everybody knew
Right.
who was getting the ball. And shout out to our defense. They played hard. They played fast. Especially, you know, in the second half, I think they played a little bit harder. Or maybe I'll give credit to our offense because they were able to kind of figure some things out. So at halftime, go ahead, Coach.
Oh, no. But one thing I would say, I mean, we lost by 21 points, which is because they scored 56. We only lost by 21. One was a kickoff return, and the other two were big plays. Our our defense made them, you know, take long drives. And, one missed tackle here. There was a 4th and 20, I think, and they scored. So it wasn't like they were just, beating us up. They just made plays when they needed to. It was long plays. I think 4 of the touchdowns were big plays or, at the right time. So, as much as, it sounds crazy to say our defense did well because we gave up 56 points or would have been 40, whatever it is, 49 points without the kickoff return. But they made it difficult as much as they could for them, and it was one big play that they scored on. So it wasn't like they were driving down 80 yards and scored from the 1 yard line. It was a missed tackle, a couple mistakes here and there, but it's hard to really stop an explosive team or a player like that when you're on the field for 27 minutes. So we just got to do a better job of getting off the field at crucial times next year, but. The kids tried hard. They played to the very end.
No, they did play to the very end. Let me stop right here because we do have some viewers. Coach AJ Jackson, the former Pali coach, he says, yo, coaches, congrats on a great season. So again, that's for you. I am no way, shape, or form a coach, but definitely for you. And then Jill Newhouse, Calcaterra, she says, go Dolphins. Jill is a former Pali QB parent. And then she also says, great season, amazing work. Because Jill, we always have, Coach, a lot of former Pali families who will just turn on the live stream and support. And so these are the people who are definitely, would what we would call our ride or die folks. I mean, they're riding the die for Pali all the way through. And then also, we had so many former football players come to the game. I had a chance to see him at halftime. And so, of course, I don't expect you to know him because this is just your second year, but we had guys from when Sir was playing all the way up to, when my youngest son was playing. So it was great to see all the Pali support from the football alumni to come on out. And Jill is definitely a part of that. Her son, Nick, played for us some time ago. One of my good friends, we call him Uncle Irwin, he says, tourist highlights are already up from the Pali game. That dude is a beast. Great season overall for Pali, though. Absolutely. Appreciate you, Coach. And then I call him Coach because he used to coach at our middle school when my sons went to. But that's my boy, Irwin. And then Coach Todd says, excellent season, Dolphins. Great job, Coach. So Coach Todd was there a couple of years ago. He was the JV coach. So, we got a lot of well wishes from our season. And again, 3 years, making the championship game 2 out of the past 3 years is such a remarkable feat. Now we just need to worry about getting over the hump. But I don't want to get there just yet because I still want to kind of finish up just, because you talked about, our defense. And, I think our boys have a hard time, and this has probably been throughout Pali football, when things are not looking up and up, they start to kind of, sulk and kind of hold their head down. And definitely when that return happened, you could just see the air just kind of go out some of the, boys and just some of their thoughts. It's like, okay, this guy just really, returned it all the way back. So, that's something mentally that the boys have to, get over. And, even as I, recorded the game, I was still saying to the very end, at least, about 5 minutes to go in the game, it's like, look, boys got to keep their head up, still play as if they want to win, not sulk and get down on themselves. So the defense did play hard. I wasn't trying to throw them under the bus, but yeah, those boys were really ready to go, and it was a hard time stopping them. But I like the way you guys made adjustments. So maybe talk about some of the adjustments that you made in the second half, because we were able to score 28 points. We only scored 7 points in the first half. So what kind of adjustments did you make so that some of our boys can get loose, get into the end zone, and try to challenge King Drew on the field?
Well, so part of our offense is if we get a certain look on a certain play, our routes get adjusted. I think we were calling quick passes. They were bringing pressure. A lot of plays I was calling were quick passes. The problem was a lot of our adjustments we would have to go deep because they were pressing. So a lot of people, I'm sure everybody saw it looked like I was calling deep passes every time, but it's just the way that the offense is run and the adjustments that the receivers have to make based on the defense. So the adjustment we made was just we tried to call more screens. I tried to call different plays that weren't adjustment calls to try to get the ball out quick, more RPOs, run pass options just to get, hopefully the linebackers can slow down. We can get more open space for Jack to throw. So we really just wanted to get the ball out quick so he wasn't taking hits, roll him out outside a little bit more. And also just, we're making plays. We were catching the ball. We had a few drops in the first half that didn't happen in the second half. So that was also part of it. Defensively, I just told him, we just need to tackle. Basically, we're tackling too high, like we've been doing all season long. And told him at halftime, you can't run if you have your arms wrapped around their legs. They can run through shoulders. They can't run if you wrap their legs up. So we tried to, adjust to that as well. But scheme wise, we didn't really do much different defensively just because we were in position to make plays. We just didn't, make tackles. They were in the backfield. Everybody saw that one play where the quarterback broke, I don't know how many tackles. It was I think it was 4th and 20 or 3rd and 20, and he broke like 5 tackles and got the first down. That's not X's and O's. That's just wrapping up and making a tackle. So, I kind of yelled a little bit. Maybe that's just an adjustment I made. I wasn't as calm as I usually was at halftime. So I don't know. We just, like I said, it wasn't our night. A lot of things that we did well, especially offensively, we didn't do well Saturday. Defensively, we just didn't make enough tackles like we should have. So just wasn't our night.
Yeah, no, Coach, you were yelling a lot, more than normal, extremely. And I tried not to catch you, when you were kind of in the heat of, you were coaching, right? And so it's an emotional game, so you can't just, hey, Jack, can you just toss the ball? No, you be like, look, Joker, you look at me, focus, And I'm just calling out Jack because he's the QB of the offense. Right. If it was Jake, whoever else, Nico, whoever. You're gonna key in on those guys, and so you definitely made some coaching moves in the second half, but definitely your demeanor was a little bit more demonstrative. And look, you were encouraging the boys to wrap up and instead of arm tackling. I was saying that even as I was recording the game as well. So no, you had reason to be because I'm sure you didn't want to go out that way. And I expected a win. I expected to be playing Portola in the next round of the playoffs, but like you said, it wasn't meant to be. We faced a team that was hot, and they won. And so, but I do want to kind of highlight, to your point, defense. They were defensing, they were playing defense, right? So you got all these guys, and this is kind of abnormal for for a game during the season. You had all these guys, almost in double digits. Of course, you had the quarterback of the defense, Jake. He had 10 tackles again. And so you had Connor, you had Jaden, you had Cash, you had Nico, Adrian. You had a whole bunch of guys. Number 28, Nikan. Nikon. Okay, yeah. So you had a whole bunch of guys in there tackling, trying to do what they, do what they're supposed to do, which is wrap up and tackle. So it wasn't like they were like, okay, number one, here's the lane, you can just run by us. No, they were trying their best to execute the defense to their best of their ability. But Jameer Torres, number one, who happens to be the coach's son, he's like, look, y'all hop on my back, and I'm just gonna ride through the pasture and just go ahead and do what or because they're the Golden Eagles. We just gonna fly. Just hop on my back. We gonna fly through the pasture. We gonna fly through the air and make some things happen. So again, hats off to them. I do want to highlight Max. Max was, some of our regular suspects, our usual suspects, weren't able to kind of get hot like they normally do. So I'm talking about the Harrisons, I'm talking about the Kings, the Henry. But, a shining moment for me was seeing, Max Ajazi. He came in, I think, the second half. He caught a couple of touchdown balls, and so he kind of got open. And I think the second one, he was a little bit more emotional when he caught that second pass. So it wasn't like guys were standing around, just trying to give it over. They were really playing hard, and I was especially excited for the way Max played. Even Shiloh, Shiloh came in, and he was the top man in terms of rushing yards. So again, maybe let's kind of we've tooted Jameer Torres's horn a little bit. Let's kind of toot our guys' horn. Talk about Max, talk about Jack, Mr. Consistency, going over 250 yards the past 3 or 4 games. So Max, Jack, and then Shiloh. Just talk about their contribution. Shiloh had, looks like, 51 yards rushing, 24 receiving, 75 total. And then Harrison had about 213 all-purpose yards. So he wasn't, in the rushing game as much as we used to see him doing his thing. But let's throw some light on Max, Jack, and Shiloh and their contributions in this championship football game.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Max. Last year I didn't use him as much as I should have. He was very patient. My substitution patterns weren't as much as they were this year. So a lot of times, he would be sitting on the sideline or, not getting the touches he deserved. But he's never missed a practice. He stayed consistent. He's always worked hard. Never once in the 2 years I've been there complained about anything, about not getting the ball, about not getting, the game plan, not getting enough plays. He always just came to practice, worked hard, and waited for his time. And really happy to see his production this year. And I felt really stupid not playing him last year as much as I should have. And he's our best route runner on a receiving core. That's I feel like he's pretty stacked. So he's always open. He's always reliable. He's fast. He's not the fastest on the team, which is crazy because we have Henry and King, even Ricardo, who's track guys who are fast, but he has deceptive speed, but he's basically our possession receiver, which is crazy for as much speed as he has, and he can run deep, he can run short. His double moves are, unbelievable. So I can't say enough about him and his patience and commitment to the team, his unselfishness, and it really paid off this year. And it's really going to be sad to see him go because I feel like he didn't get enough time to really show everybody what he could really do. I know he did this year. I think he was our leading touchdown leader this year, but he still didn't, really show what he could really do. So I'm hoping he gets a shot, and if he decides to play college football, which I think he can, really show what he can do, and he's just only going to get better from here. And Shiloh, he came on late. All the coaches and kids are like, when are you going to put Shiloh in? Play Shiloh, So they're egging me on. It's like, his time will come. Just be patient. Don't worry. And same thing with him. Once he came out, he did every single thing I asked him to do. He said, Coach, I'm here. I want to be part of this team. He's like, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. His first playoff game, we asked him to play D tackle because we were playing the wing T. He said, "Hey, coach, whatever you need me to do to help the team, I'll do it." Played a great game for only having to, practice, I think, 2 days at D tackle. And then the next week at Eagle Rock, he got a little bit more time. And in the championship game, he's our leading rusher. So, for somebody who's that big, who's powerful, could run from the backfield and go out and catch the ball, he's going to be something special to watch next year as well. So, just proud of those two guys for being patient and really stepping up in the championship game.
Yeah, they definitely, and again, I just thought, you made some adjustments, you saw some things, and, I'm glad that, Max was able to catch those passes, because, like you said, he didn't play last year, but, even I think he kind of got a late start this year in the season. And, he wasn't, wanted to go to at the beginning of, when we played that triple, the first three games we played in that wing T, he didn't, I don't think he really had an opportunity to play, but when he got his chance, he made the best of it. And so, like you said, he might have the, leading touchdown receiver, amongst the group, and I know they're a tight-knit group. And the best thing, and I know we've said it before, King, LaHenry, Harrison, Shiloh, Devron, Jack, you got a lot of folks who are coming back. So, it's like, you got a lot of skilled positions, and hopefully they're going to take this championship game and they're going to internalize it, figure out what they can do better as a person, and then figure out what they can do as a group. Because if they come together and play hard, somebody's going to have to be that Jameer Torres on our squad. Just, normally Harrison is, but Harrison had, they figured out what Harrison was going to do in terms of his rushing, so he couldn't get loose like he normally does, right? But hopefully they'll figure it out. They got one more chance to figure it out for next season, and so now is day one to get ready for next year. They got a taste of what that championship feel looks like, what it smells like, what it looks like, and what it takes to get there. So hopefully they'll be hungry enough to want to duplicate everything they did this year and more. And I'm sure that you and the rest of the coaches will put those guys in the correct space so that they can mature and learn and be 1 year wiser, because next year is their senior year, and I'm sure they don't want to go out like, they want to go out on top, instead of having thoughts of winning what could have been. So to that end, Coach, let's kind of focus on, unless you want to continue talking about the game, which I'm pretty.
Let's move on to 2025.
Absolutely. But before we, because we always talk about the skill positions, I want to talk about some of the seniors, and I think I even mentioned in the pregame that I want to have one more show where we bring on some of the seniors like Cole, like Jake, Cash, and some of those other guys. So, Max, bring some of those guys in and have them reflect. So maybe we'll kind of hook that up for next week. But, we always talk about the skill positions. Let's talk about some of our O linemen, because they also make the team tick. And so without the blocking of Cole and some of the other guys, man, let's give the O-line some love, and especially some of the seniors who are, who were visibly upset and emotional at the outcome of the game. So, let's show some of those guys some love as well, because I know we always harp on the skill positions. Let's give some love to the O-line and what they've done, and also the seniors as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the O-line, I don't know how many games we would have won this year. That's the truth. I mean, I know O-line's important on every single team, but the work they put in this year was unbelievable, and the camaraderie they had and the chemistry they had. I mean, I've never, as many years as I've been coaching, I've never seen that on the line. It was amazing, and the stuff we had them doing. I mean, there's a lot of teams who run the wing T. It's block down pull. I mean, some of that stuff is just elementary. Slide protect, get the next gap over. The stuff we had them doing was, I mean, literally college type stuff. And the way they picked it up and the way they understood it, the time they put in to understand it, before practice, staying after practice, doing chalk talk, excuse me, some nights on Zoom, lunch meetings, trying to get them prepared. I mean, it was amazing. And at first I was like, this might be too hard for them to understand. And coach was like, no, we just, we'll figure it out. We'll, I'll teach them. And he took his time teaching the kids, and the calls they were making. I mean, like I said, it took me back to my college days. Just the way they were, locating the mic, the outside backer, slide protect. 50 front, 40, bear, all the calls that we're making was just unbelievable. And, you know, we don't practice that much on the field. We only get 2.5 hours of practice. We only go team about 30, 45 minutes sometimes. But the way they picked it up and the way they protected the quarterback, not giving up many sacks with that type of thinking, and especially how fast we play. They're making calls within 10, 12 seconds of play. Some NFL teams don't even do that, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying we have an NFL offense, but just the time it takes to process what's going on. It was just amazing. So I can't say enough about the whole line. And as far as the seniors, Cole, the biggest kid I've ever coached. Just when you got him going, when you got him angry, there was nobody that was going to get past him. Or, we watch film and, Cole is 10 yards in the backfield on top of somebody, or 10 yards up the field on top of somebody, or pushing guys to the sideline. Just his motor was unbelievable. And, he had a possibly broken rib in the championship game, and we didn't even know if he was going to play. But he was like, no, this is my last, this is my senior year. I want to play. And, he basically sucked it up and, played a really good game. So just, I can't say enough about him. And Josh Chinchilla, who was our starting center in the beginning, who tore his knee the very first game, was out until the Harvard Westlake game. First play back, tore it again, and then it was out again, and tried to, just kept trying to come back and never missed a practice, was always there. If the coach wasn't there, he was leading drills for the, warm-up drills for the linemen. One of our captains, just a great leader. He didn't get a chance to play much in the championship game and do the playoffs, but, we wanted to make sure he was on the field at least for one play towards the end. And he got to be on that play on the touchdown throw. So just really happy for him. And then Mitch, who's the other starting tackle, right tackle. This kid last year never played football at all. He was an 11th grader. We didn't even know if he was going to even stay throughout the whole season last year. And I said, you know what? I don't know how much time you're going to get on varsity. So, let's play JV this year and just see how it works out. A lot of kids who are 11th graders don't want to play JV. They're embarrassed, or they feel like they're better. He had a decent year last year. Wasn't the best, but we told him this offseason, if you just come to practice every day, work hard, you'll help us. I didn't expect him to start. He was one of our best linemen all year. After 1 year of only playing football, really learning how to play football, and then, like I said, the type of offense we were running, for him to process that type of offense with only a year of football, it's truly amazing. I have all the respect in the world for Mitch for what he's done in the last year. So really, I wish he had another year with him, because, he'll be 2 times better than what he was this year if we had another year with him. So just proud of all the seniors. And then obviously Liam G, who was our center, 170 pounds playing center against guys who are 250 pounds. He's one of the toughest kids I've ever seen at his size, and that position is not easy to do. So, my hat goes out to him. And Didier, who came out a little bit late, but, had some time and then ended up getting injured. And then Brian, also another kid who, came out, this year and really helped us. So I'm really going to miss the camaraderie and the chemistry with this lineman. It was a fun year just seeing their progression and how they progress this year. It's going to be really tough to replace those guys next year.
You know what? I say the same thing every year when the seniors leave. It's like, okay, who's going to feel uh, who's going to feel, since he's watching, who's going to feel size Sayer Riley's shoes? Who's going to feel, because I'm looking at my boy, who's going to feel, Sir Riley and Xavier Riley? But, who's going to feel Noah Gadushin? I'm going back. Who's going to feel, what's my man's name? See, oh, God darn it. Oh, man. He's gonna kill me. Who's gonna feel these guys? Who's gonna feel these shoes, right? But every year, someone steps up to the plate. And I know Cole has been around for a couple of years. There's going to be another Cole on that old line who's going to step up and, do what he did, if not better, the same, if not better than Cole did, right? So there's always going to be someone, because we even, no, I was going to use a different analogy. Don't want to use that one. But there's always going to be someone who's going to step up. Receivers, we're so happy that we got, 3 or 4 great receivers this season. But once, these current juniors and their seniors, they're doing senior stuff next year, there's going to be someone to fill the shoes. And the good thing about football, it is an outdoor classroom. So you guys are always putting the kids in the right spaces to learn. Like you said, you thought the offensive line schemes were going to be a little bit difficult. Nah, they picked it up. You know why? Because they're students and they're trying to get better and better. And so if you throw it at them, kids are like sponges. You throw it at them, they're going to get better and better. And so hats off to you. And the rest of the coaching staff, just for your commitment. Quinn Perry, that's what I was thinking of. Quinn Perry, who went on to play at Colorado. There's always going to be somebody who's going to be the backup to the backup, and they're going to come out next year and just watch. You're like, dang, we got this dude. And some of these guys might not have ever played football. They might be on campus right now, and you don't even know who they are, right? Maybe
I will say, sorry, Liam Hudson. We call him Big Country. He's already excited for next year. I have no doubt he's going to step up. Hunter, who's a sophomore, 2 more years. Really great, our best puller, as a sophomore, which is not easy to do. Luke V. So we still got some guys in the wing. Got some JV guys, hopefully, that will come up and have a great offseason for us. So I'm not worried about our line play next year. Just the chemistry that these kids had. Hopefully, we can continue that part of it next year, and we'll do great things.
Absolutely. And then, we have a couple of parents watching. So Lisa, she says, this is Cole's mom. I always kid her. So she's, she's, first time she's really being exposed to football, and, kind of took myself to kind of explain some of the plays and how, football goes. So she's watching. She says that she's so proud of Cole. We're proud of Cole too. I remember him as a freshman, coming up right out of COVID, and then, moving on, matriculating through. So now he's a senior, and, that boy grew. So just so proud of him. And then Joanne, who is the mother to Joshua, just seeing, you talk about resiliency, right? He's like, look, something's going on with my knee, but I still want to play. And then he get injured, and he's like, okay, I still want to play. I'm gonna hang around. I'm gonna walk on the field with the rest of the captains. And so that's what you call resiliency, right? He's just like, look, I want to be a part of this football team. I might not be able to contribute as much as I want to, but I'm here, I'm dedicated. And so, just that's the kind of stuff that I like to see. And so, yeah, he's not getting the love on the field, but definitely just his dedication and admiration for his boys and wanting to be out there with him and fight, that just, man, that's crazy, inspirational. And I'm glad that he has that kind of heart and mind that wants him to continue. Because, we're not just teaching football, we're teaching life skills. And hopefully, Josh will be able to apply this situation to life when he gets older as well. And then she says, oh, okay, she was correcting herself up there. So yeah, so we know all about the boys, and then we can't talk about a senior and leave off Augie, right?
No,
Um,
Augie's a junior.
oh, he's a junior.
Yeah, he's a junior. Yeah,
Oh, okay. We won't talk
he's
about
coming
Augie.
back. Yeah,
We won't talk about
yeah.
it. Sorry, Augie. Sorry, Levin. All right, so let's go ahead, man. But no, it was a great season, Coach. And I know as you look forward to 2025,
That's
that
crazy.
season is going to come quicker than you know it.
I hope so.
We'll be sitting here again in August. Going through some of the teams that we're playing against, and so it's going to come now. We always kind of like to have this conversation. So the season is over. What should the boys be doing? I know they still have a seventh period. We have about 2 more weeks of school for this semester, at least, me being an elementary teacher, I know we have 2 more weeks before school is over. And then we'll have the 3-week break during winter break. And then we'll come back. Our start date for the new semester is January 6th. So what should the boys be doing in preparation of next fall? I know that there's going to be a 6th period where it's a regular football class, but during the break and moving into January and the rest of the fall and spring, what should the boys be really focusing on to get better so that they can mentally and physically prepare for the 2025 football season at Pali?
Well, one, rest until January. They really need to rest. I told them at the exit meeting today that I put them through a lot this season just because I felt like this team was special. I feel like if we put in the work, we'll get to that championship game and win. But I mean, we're starting in February with Saturday night practices, like I said earlier, and through May, and then nonstop through June. So this month, especially, they really need to rest, recover their body. I know a lot of kids are like, "I want to hit the weight room tomorrow." That sounds good, but they really need to rest their body and just like I said, recover. February is going to be slow. We'll start 6th period weight training. Next semester we go back to 13th, so that'll start then, and then we're going to get stronger. I think that was part of our issue last year a little bit. We're gonna hit the weights this year. I was talking to the O-line coach, and we were talking about what we want to do for summer, and I said we need to get stronger. Last year was more about plyos and body weight, but a lot of kids just didn't know how to lift, and so I didn't want to waste time trying to teach lifting. I wanted to get a good workout in, and we had a great off season, I thought. But this year, we're gonna have to teach early how to lift with 6th period, and then summer we're gonna hit the weight strong. So hopefully our guys are bigger, stronger. Told them to run track, so we're gonna get faster. So you're gonna see a bigger, faster, stronger team next year.
Yeah, that's I need my nephew to get a little bit bigger, a little stronger.
There you go. Yeah, we're trying to get him to 168.
Yeah. I need him not to look like a wet noodle out there, right? I need him to, because we already know he has the skills. That's not an issue.
Right.
I'm not, that's, not my son, but my nephew right there. He has the skills, but we just need to put him, and not only him, there's a couple of others who probably need to bulk up a little bit. And there's probably a couple of guys who might need to kind of bulk down or add some muscle, right? Just tone it up a little bit. So, no, that's great. And I'm sure you're going to communicate that to the boys, through emails, text, however you guys communicate. I think the important time, to your point, is rest. They've been going at it nonstop since, February. And so your body needs to it needs time to recover. And so take these, don't do anything too strenuous. Don't go out, snowboarding or skiing if you're not that great at it. If you're great at it, then, maybe not do as much because you don't want to injure yourself and you don't want to get hurt and then, be on the sidelines for, 6 to 7, 8 weeks because, you played a game of pickup and you broke your ankle.
Right.
pick up basketball and you broke your ankle. So just take it easy. Just relax, guys. That's what coach is saying. And then kind of ease your way back. But I think that's a wonderful plan to kind of bulk up a little bit because, those guys need a little, they need a little muscle on their bones
Absolutely.
to kind of help them out. Um, Big Devron says, "Wait till you see Devron." Okay, all right, okay. He might be one who needs to kind of I don't want to say lose weight, but just kind of gain a little bit more muscle, right, Coach?
No, Devon got some muscle. If you seen his calves,
No,
he
I
got some
know he got
muscle.
muscle. We just don't want to get too muscular,
Right,
right?
right.
Where you can't move.
Yeah,
It's,
right.
it's hard for him. Lisa Ward, she added a comment going back to Cole. She says, "Seeing Cole playing with a broken rib wasn't fun as a mom." I'm sure it
We
wasn't.
appreciate it though.
Yeah. I mean, he was out there. And I know he was so emotional after the game. He was just kind of, going through it a little bit. And so, but no, he worked his tail off this season. So I'm proud of him. I know my son, Sir, really spoke to him and, spoke to all the boys. And so they appreciated the efforts of all the coaches. And so, and speaking of coaches, one of your coaches is leaving, Coach Loftus. Let's give a little shine to him. Talk about his impact and what he did on the field for the boys. And because he was also a dean, just his impact, not on the football field, but also, acting as a dean. So, he kind of saw the boys two different ways: as an academic student, as a student athlete, and then as a football player. So just kind of talk about his influence on the boys. This was his final football game. I think he's retiring, correct?
Yes, as
Yeah.
a dean, as a coach, yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and, let's give Coach Loftus some love. Give him his flowers as well.
Yeah, during off season, he came up to me and he asked me to do him a favor and said, can I coach with you? I said, you're doing me a favor by coaching. I need coaches. I need good coaches who know the program, who've been here. Obviously, somebody that's on campus as a dean. It was a no-brainer for me. And initially, he was going to help out with the JVO line, but we needed help when Coach Musa left from last year. We needed help with the O line, so I asked him, could you come up and help the varsity? He said, whatever you need, Coach. Absolutely. Coach Sir ended up coming on, so I said, I need a linebacker coach. Would you mind coaching linebacker? He said, oh, that's perfect. That's, I played linebacker. I've coached it. So, he was all for it. He really just wants to help the program. And, I can't thank him enough for, I'm the quiet one on the field. And you always need that coach that's going to light some fire in the players. You always need that loud voice on the field that can yell from goal line to goal line when there's transitions and drills, and just to get that spark. And, the kids love him. And his ability to turn off the dean role when he's on the field and just be coach was amazing. There was times where he had to be that dean, which is helpful. But when he was on the field, it was all football. And he just wanted to coach football. He loves football so much. And it was really a pleasure and a joy to watch him from afar. Defense is on one side of the field sometimes while we're doing individual drills, and to see him, how he interacted with the kids, how the kids were receptive to him, and the ability for the kids to turn off the dean role as well was really good. And he got the most out of those kids that he coached, and he's definitely going to be missed, not just on the field, but on campus. I go in his office from time to time just to talk to him and, ask for questions, or he'll, summons me in for, just to talk football. And it's definitely going to be missed next year, not only at work, but on the field.
Yeah, definitely. I loved his one-liners, like in the game, they were just I'm like, how does this man think of this stuff, right? I mean, even his voice is just loud and it just echoes across the field. And so
Yep.
I know some of the coaches, they're at the end of a game, their voice is kind of gone or whatever. Not
No,
Coach
no,
Loftus's
no,
voice.
not at all.
It's always the same. You hear that deep, rich baritone voice echoing across the field. So it's
It gets
definitely
louder the longer he goes. It seems like it's crazy.
absolutely, absolutely. And so that's one of the things, he was one of the guys who was there. And I think I mentioned this in the previous episode. When my kids first got there, he was helping out with the JV and then he kind of, took a break. Then he came back. And so just so awesome to see him, transition from being a dean, to being a football coach. And now he's like, look, check it out. I'm out.
Right.
So no, just appreciate his contribution, man. I'm sure the boys appreciate it as well, just his ability to turn it on as a dean, and then make a quick transition over to Coach Loftus. And so I know he's going to be missed, and just appreciate everything that he's done for the program because he's been a head coach through the years. He's been JV coach. He's been assistant coach. He's been sideline coach. Sometimes he would just come to the game and hang out on the sidelines when he wasn't coaching. So, just proud of him and just his impact that he's had on my boys and then also the rest of the Pali football community. So someone hops in and just says, "Hey, Kato," he says, "You know who that is?"
Yes, that's one of my good friends. I've known him for over 25 years almost.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
really good friend of mine. Yeah.
So he says, "Great season, D." So we appreciate you, Kato. Hopefully, I'm saying that correctly.
Osei, his name's Osei. That's his government name.
Okay, that's between y'all. Y'all with him, okay? But no, we appreciate you, man. No, it was a great season, man. And so we've kind of unpacked everything. We went through the ups and downs of our football season by kind of going back down memory lane and some of the victories and some of the, some of the losses to Brentwood and to Venice. And we know next year is going to be a little bit more difficult to win because we're going to be at Brentwood. And no, the Brentwood is supposed to be.
Brentwood.
Okay. And then Venice game, we'll play at Venice. So we'll be on the road for those. So we're going to try to avenge those losses. But yeah, it was a wonderful season. And like I said at the very beginning, in August, the season goes by and the parents don't believe me. I've been through this thing at least 9, 10 times, like a decade now. So I'm an old vet, and I love Pali football. I know I have one more good season, guys. I know I have one more good season because nephew is on the field. LeHenry, not my son, but my nephew Solomon. He's a senior next year. So, and then we'll see. Folks were asking me, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'm like, all right, well. We'll see. We'll see. We do have a photographer. His name is Craig Weston, and I think his kids went to Pali, but he continued to stay on as a photographer. And so, he has on his website just all kinds of sporting events, way after his kids had graduated from Pali. So maybe I'll be the next Craig Wesson. I don't know. We'll hang around until, my wife says, look, you need to not be at Pali on Friday night. You need to be at home. But yeah, so we'll see. But no, definitely, and then I'll do a little bit better with posting social stuff as well. So I haven't been that active posting on our on our what's that thing called? IG and some other stuff. So, it's hard to do everything that you want to do in the short amount of time that you have to do it. So, but I like this right here. I'm definitely, if Coach, you want to come on, next season, we could start it off in August, do a couple of preseason videos and then, talk to the boys and all that kind of good stuff. So I appreciate you hopping on, man. I know it takes a lot of time and, you even said your new puppy, Ghost, was keeping you
Ghost,
busy.
he wants to say hi to everybody. It's the new Dolphin family member
There you go. There you go. Osei was over there laughing at us.
He's laughing at me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But no, we appreciate it, man. And so, what we're going to do, Coach, of course, I'm gonna give you the final words. Again, I appreciate you hopping on, making yourself available, and we kind of run a high class football program over here. It's not too many programs in the city, kind of have this access. And, I think Steve Galuzzo says we're probably the most photographed team in the city because, we got, we used to have Craig, now we have Mariana. She's pumping out awesome photos of the boys and they love seeing that stuff. And of course, Steve is doing his thing. I got this thing right here. So I appreciate you hopping on again. And so I want to give you the last words for this particular show. Hopefully we'll try to have two more shows, maybe some of the seniors on offense and seniors on defense, or maybe just might be one show with a whole bunch of the seniors. So we'll see. But Coach, go ahead. And I think I have the capacity. To give you full screen. So let me see if my scene is working. There you go. Okay. Let me fix you up a little bit. But go ahead. The stage is yours, sir.
I mean, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for having me on every week. I know it's not easy, doing this show every Monday, being away from your family, and like you said, on Friday nights, filming for everybody to see who can't make the game. So, I appreciate you giving, our fans and parents and family the opportunity to watch the kids and the coaches work on Friday night. So I appreciate that and having me on every week. To the parents, I can't thank you guys enough for trusting me and the coaches with your kids every single day. Football is not an easy thing to, put your kids out there and have somebody, work with them and trust them to keep them safe every week. So, and then obviously getting them to practice, just all the things that we put the parents through. Just really appreciate the support and everything that they do with the lunches, the donations, feeding the kids on game days, and coming out cheering. And Saturday night was awesome to see how many fans we had and all the blue glow sticks, which I hope that can be a tradition and continue every year, because that was great to turn around and see all the blue glow sticks waving in the crowd. So I hope we can keep that tradition. That's my plea to the parents. But I just thank you guys for everything. The QB Club, can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me and the coaches. And, there's some ups and downs this year, but everybody fought through it, worked really hard to really focus on football, focus on the kids and having a great season. And just the amount of work that they put in that a lot of people don't see, just to keep this program running is really something special. So, excuse me, I want to thank the QB Club as well. And last, I just want to thank the kids. The stuff we put them through this year and putting their bodies on the line. And some of these kids wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to school. They go to school all day, practice really hard. I mean, sometimes our practices are harder than games, to be honest with you. And then having to take the bus all the way back home, do homework, and then turn around and do it again 5 days a week. It's just, and kids they keep coming back and doing it. So I can't thank them enough. And we're going to have to do it again next year. It's not going to be any easier. So hopefully they come out again next year. And it's the same thing. I want to see them back, hold the trophy next year. So, I told them we have the blueprint. We know what we need to do to get here. We just got to be consistent with it and do it. And, they'll be smiling next year instead of crying. So just want to thank them. And, of course, the seniors, all the seniors who've, been through this program as freshmen and, sticking with this program for 4 years, not transferring or quitting, and really sticking with it. And, two championship games in 4 years is not easy to do. A lot of programs don't even get to one in I don't know how many years. So being able to get to two in 4 years is really something special. And I hope the younger kids can follow what they've done and continue this continue this run. So just want to thank everybody for a great season. And again, let's get some rest and then turn around and do it again next year.
Okay, so in all of your thank yous, you missed one person, and you're going to know who that one person is when I put the comment on the screen. Hold on.
This season, no change. I will not change my gear. They got a special thank you, and there will not be any changing of the gear next year. The gear that I have will be the same all year long. It started with Venice, and I'm not changing. Same shoes, pants, shirts, sweater, everything. Maybe a different hoodie, but there won't be any changing.
Absolutely. No, that was just so funny. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I gotta put this on here. Absolutely, man. No, it was a blast. We had a wonderful time this season. So, we're gonna do it again next year. We're gonna come back, bigger, faster, stronger, a la $6 million man, Lee Majors. And, we're going to have some heavy hitters. And I was just going through, who's a senior and who's, coming back next year. Man, we got a whole, even some of the guys that I didn't think were seniors. I'm like, oh, they're junior. Oh, they coming. So, we're definitely going to have a senior broadcast, hopefully. We'll try to arrange it next week. But, Coach, we appreciate you again. And just hang out in the green room for me real quick. We'll kind of finish up the show. And then, we'll, do what we do. So just hang out in the green room and just give me a couple of moments to kind of wrap up the show.
Sounds good. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And thank everybody else.
Absolutely. So there we go, guys. Another season in the books. I mean, it was a wonderful season. We started, what they say, we started from the bottom. Now we're here. We got to the championship game. We couldn't put it together in the final game, but the boys did play hard all season. And so, again, I just want to personally thank all of the coaches, and the players and the parents and Pali QB Club for continuing to support our team. I know there were some struggles, some ups and downs, some bumps, and along the way. As with any organization, there's going to be some bumps, some valleys, but hopefully we have more peaks and a smooth road than we do the valleys that kind of take place as we go through our football season. So again, appreciate Coach Smith and just his dedication in year 2, taking us all the way to another championship, and hopefully, the boys can put it all together and we can go back and do it one more again. So again, appreciate you, Coach. So let me just go ahead and end up the show. If you did not have an opportunity to watch the championship game, I was able to get on the field now because of rules and regulations. I try to stay, I'm like a rule guy. I kind of, stay in my lane. And so if someone says that, hey, you can't do it, I'm not going to try to skirt around and do things on my own. But I did this time. So 2 years ago, I was asked not to live stream from the sideline because the city section had their own broadcasting partner. And so same with it this year. I didn't even ask because I just knew what the answer was going to be. I was privileged enough to get an online pass, and I was actually able to record the game. So, the game is up, and I didn't even post it anywhere. I just posted it Saturday night when I got home, and folks found it. The boys found it. We got viewers who found it, and so if you want to subscribe to this particular YouTube channel, This Week in Pali Football, you'll see all the goodness. You'll see both the first half and the second half of the championship game, and so it's there. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way because I did want to capture a historic moment. And as Coach said last week, we have a whole bunch of teams that have championship banners hanging in the gymnasium. We wanted to have at least, we wanted to get our first one. And so to that end, I was able to record both halves of this past Saturday's championship game. So it's there for you to look at and kind of watch on your own and see how well we played and see how well King Drew played as well. And then speaking of King Drew, I think we have a comment here. This young man says, from King Drew, saying congrats on the season. I hope to see y'all in the championship again. Great team over there at Pali. Hey, Donovan, we appreciate you hopping on, and just tell Jameer he needs to slow down. Tell Jameer Torres he needs to slow down. But nah, he was awesome. And appreciate you hopping on, man. And see, that's the kind of community we have. We don't hold any grudges, and so we can have folks from opposite teams or former teams that we've played to hop on and kind of express their their joy, their sportsmanship, and that's what I like to see. I like to see good sportsmanship throughout high school football teams. On the field and off the field. So many times you hear these stories. Football, just yesterday, NFL, late hit on the QB, and both teams just kind of brawled out. And so I like to see good sportsmanship. It's okay to be competitors, and you're supposed to be competitors. You're supposed to play hard. It's a physical game, but at the end, we're all, a group of guys, a group of young men, a group of coaches who want the best for our teams. And so, the better team won this past Saturday. And so, Donovan, appreciate you hopping on, and congratulations to you and your teammates. And go ahead and kick some butt. You guys have Portola. I was looking at your bracket. You guys have Portola on this weekend. Let me see. Not that one. You know what? It's okay. It's not a big deal. Appreciate you hopping on, man, and congratulations to your squad. All right. Other than that, I'm signing off. We have one more broadcast. We'll bring on the seniors next week. Hopefully we can arrange that so all the seniors can come on and kind of reflect and reminisce about their season as well. All right, guys, let me go ahead and cut it out because I can go on. Last reminder, our senior banquet is this coming Sunday, 12 o'clock at Pali. You should have received an email so that you can come on out and participate. And we have a wonderful time with food, family, fun, and of course, football. So we appreciate you hopping on. And that I do see one more YouTube comment. Donovan says, let me see if I can show it. He says, and I know you guys can't see the whole comment, but I can, and I'll just read it to you. He says, I got you. He says, tell Jack Thomas, keep balling out over there, and your nephew, hope for the best. By the way, he's number 8. Definitely. And then Jacob Garcia says, I was at the Pali game, come to support from the uni football team. Good season. See y'all next year. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Good sportsmanship, good guys. Just because we play against one another doesn't mean that we have to be enemies. So I appreciate you guys hopping on the live stream, dropping those comments. Good luck to you over there, Jacob at University, and continued luck for you, Donovan, over there at King Drew Medical Magnet. All right. Other than that, this is Mr. Riley. I'm signing off from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. And as always, go Pali. Peace.